Yeah, hi guys. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how you should not spend your 20s if you do not want to regret your entire life. And then this is like an extract from a video I have made before called The Perfect Meal Timeline. Feel free to check it out if you find this video valuable. And why I chose this video, I have a very deep story to say somewhere towards the end. So please stay with me. So in your 20s, let's be honest, you have the most energy you would ever have, most likely in your entire life. You see, because of this energy, we do things that we could most likely regret for the rest of our lives. And the worst part about this energy is that most of it, for most people, is spent on doing things that other people want them to do, not what they want to do for themselves. Now, I have about give or take a few tips for you that could make you actually set up your 20s. So your 30s, 40s, and 50s will become easier. And mind you, at the end, I also have some caution. So, a brief story. The story has to do with my elder brother, who I would say I and him are like the direct opposites. I don't like talking about my elder brother because it makes it sound like I am throwing him under the bus. But summary of it all is that he's late. And when I decided to share this, I don't want to go deep into his story because sometimes I feel like I don't want to make it sound like I am riding a wave of his story. But a brief history. Let me make it brief. He passed in 20, he passed on in 2022, and he passed on at the exact age of 30. And he basically broke almost all of the rules I'm about to give you in this video. That is why I have a deep personal I have something personal in this video too. That's why I have like a personal motivation in this video. And then one other reason is just after he passed, I was listening to a podcast. I think it was by the Diary of a CEO, and his guest said that most people who live life carefree, most of them pass on at the age of 30, not 31 or 32, by 30. And this hits me hard when that was the exact same age a couple of months ago that my brother just passed. And I don't want to get into the specifics, but that's why it's very personal to me. So I have basically like three major tips, which is first of all, in your 20s, let's start with protecting your energy. Your energy is very, very limited. Now, your energy and I say your energy and time, let's put it that way, because in every aspect of life, you're most likely going to have three constraints: wealth, or let's say wealth, time, and energy. Now, for most people, your average life expectancy will give you enough time in the future. So in your 20s, you have time. You have energy, you're most fragile, you're most happy. This is where your body is somehow strong. You may not have enough money. If you're not born into a privileged or a very rich home. So what that means is you have to make sacrifices with your time and your energy so you can at least make money. Now, I want to avoid the idea of money because most people would take money to be the end all be all. But money is supposed to be a means to an end. It's supposed to be, yeah. So money itself is supposed to help, it's supposed to give you experiences, not supposed to be the end all be all. So please, when I say money in this case, let's assume I'm referring to having something that gives you purpose, that hopefully, that's most likely you can get paid through. So, and regarding your energies, um, this is also a period where you have less responsibilities because trust me, the life of the average man goes from 20s maybe single going around, then 30s magically he's married, magically he has kids, now he has all these responsibilities. So I'll say your 30s, your 20s rather, as for you to protect your time and your energy to make them worthwhile. The second major tip here is your habits. Precisely not those little things you do once in a while, but your consistent habits, what you do almost every day. Because it's those little things you do every day that compound for life. So, for example, you read a book, just one book in your 20s. That's nothing. You read two books in your 20s. I mean, your entire 10 years. That's still nothing. But if you read 100 books, there is almost no way it will not, there's almost no way your mentality will not have felt effects of the ideas that pass through your head. I'm not referring to fiction books. I'm referring to maybe self-improvement, business, financial. You begin to have different thoughts running through your head. And trust me, in your 30s, such habits will compound. Maybe in your 30s, you may begin to read more books. 20s is like in terms of habits, is where you have to go hard on self-improvement. And if you have been on YouTube for a while, you get to see videos like self-improvement is ruining you. Please, do not click those videos. And I don't go deep into that, but the summary of it all is, for most people in their 20s, you need to go hard on self-improvement. You need to go hard on self-improvement. So, other habits that at least I would say will help you compound. Meditation. Meditating every day. Or a lot of people may not be consistent, but building habits of consistency. Any habit that introduces consistency into your life is a compounding habit. You have reading, going to the gym, eating well, working out. They build consistency, and those are the things that basically that you do almost every day. They really shape your 30s and your future and beyond. And the third part is the areas of life you need to improve. So one area of life you need to improve is your productivity. Remember when I said you have energy, you have time. So if you can put those your time and energy, I'm referring to physical energy, physical health, into projects that can make you productive. Now you are setting yourself up for massive success in your whatever definition terms you use. Now, when you get productive, society will reward you, obviously. And also, when you get productive, society rewards you. It will become easier for people to depend on you in your 30s, most likely your wife and your kids. And please mind you, we're in 2024. The people who are on this movement are people who have the idea of providing for their family. We do not believe in 50-50. Apologies for that. Another aspect is your spiritual essence. We like to throw away this idea of spirituality and we call it woo. I'm sorry. You just can't throw it away. And the very essence of spirituality is consciousness. And if you're new to these topics, I would say the easiest and the most practical or the most relatable is called intuition. When you have to make some decisions, but you don't have all the pieces together, but some decision just rings through your gut. That's your intuition speaking. Over time, in your 20s, the more you get to listen to your intuition and work with it towards a common goal, the better it is for you. So that's your spiritual area of life. You have your mental health. This is super super important. Thanks to social media, a lot of people are comparing their whole life based on the highlights of other people. People are beginning to feel less of themselves. People are beginning to take on ideas that do not really concern them just because they watched a 60 seconds video of some art or some craft that took somebody 5 to 10 years to develop. And you're thinking you want to get there because you saw a 60 seconds version of it. That aside. So for your mental health, be very careful of the things you consume. And what is going to help you is with your mental health, if you have it in check, you should be able to handle stress. Because life doesn't get less stressful in your 30s. In short, the elder you grow, it's almost like the more stress you get up until maybe retirement. Because in your 30s, like I say, society is going to put more pressure on you regardless of your status. in terms of family, kids, your parents, commitments, responsibilities. Another aspect you should look out for is your physical health. The body you have in your 20s is going to be more viable than the body you have in your 30s and 40s. For example, your eyes are going to get weaker. People who have excess blue lights constantly staring at their phones or LED lights who barely take in sunlight are going to be affected. Because in your 30s and 40s, it will be easier it will be worse off when you have your declining eyeballs. The food you eat. Having a very healthy diet is simple, but most people don't like it because it's not interesting. I tell you, your diet is part of those consistent habits that compound over time, that completely shape your future. Completely shapes your future. So what else do you think you have in this list? You have um intellectual and mental health. So I think the last part that will be left will be your social life. I think I've not touched about that. Your social life, I would say, is thanks to social media, we think we have a lot of friends, but in reality, those people are just people living their own lives and just give you some spare time they can afford using some digital channel, social media. But what you need to do is develop deep relationships. You can still do that on social media. I have people who I am who I'll say I am close friends with. We have never met in real life. But this vibe we just share, we have bounced off ideas together, despite the fact we only met on social media. So, focus in this aspect of your social life. Go ahead, focus on forming deep and meaningful connections. So, in all of this essence I discussed about regarding these areas of life, if you do everything perfectly, everything well, now caution. Some people may want to have this idea of of balancing everything. It's There's no straight way to it. In some cases, you might go heavy on your productivity area of life. In some cases, you may see a need to step up your social life. In some cases, you may see a need to step up your spiritual aspect. It all boils down to your goals, your vision, and what you think is what you think is best for you right now. So that being said, in all of that summary, you need two things. You need a goal, a vision, or a purpose. And the second thing you need is a structure. Systems and structure kind of like go hand in hand. You need a goal to know where you're going to. You need structures in place for things like routines, morning routines, night routines, activities, um, health activities, my intellectual activities, productivity activities. That's all form the structure. Just like the body will not stand without a skeleton that forms the structure. So, that being said, that's all I have regarding tips for becoming, or that's all I have for the tips you have, for the tips rather, of becoming not a waste in your 20s. Although I might say some cautions. Sorry, please, that reminds me, sorry for this. Is that all of those steps I pointed out is the secret to becoming a full stack man. A full stack man is a man who I would say is well rounded in all aspects of life. Danko calls him Danko calls it multi-dimensionally jacked. Jordan Peterson talks about having a messianic figure, but let's not go deep into that. Let's not go deep into that. Just some caution. Now, remember when I said you have a lot of energy in your 20s? Yes, that same energy can be used to either party, constantly chase pleasure, or that same energy can be used to to basically form some form of insurance in your 30s and 40s. And the other part about it is, please, if you're in your 20s, you should be impatient with your actions, but patient with your results. Regardless, I have people in their 20s, same age with me, who are making a lot of money. I'm referring to like up to $100,000 per year. But one thing I observed is, when we are at the gym, those guys who are in their 30s, they have more zest. They bring a different vibe than to the guys who are in their 20s. So all I'm saying is, yes, please, put the action, but not everything will come overnight. Those guys who are referring to in their 30s, they have built up more of their masculine frame, which I have made a video on some time ago in the past. You can look for it. So there are things that take time. You cannot rush the process of becoming that man in your 30s, in your 40s, becoming the full stack man. You can't rush the process. But as well, you might create that structure that gives you that daily routine. So that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Kindly share my video with somebody who you believe will join this movement of becoming full stack men, well-rounded men who take full responsibilities for their life and the lives of those around them, those who they swore to protect. That's the movement, basically, of well-rounded men, full stack men. So that's it. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now. Share the video.